Welcome learners. In the second and concluding video titled Ongas of Little Andaman 2, we shall discuss about the life and culture of the Ongas of Little Andaman and the changing pattern among the tribal groups in detail.
After watching this video, you should be able to have better understanding about the Ongas of Little Andaman, including the religious beliefs, living conditions, position of Ange women, and highlight the impact of culture change on the Ongas.
Let us continue with the religious beliefs of Ongas of Little Andaman. The Onge believed in the existence of spirits. These spirits, in their worldview, are said to dwell in the jungle, sea, and the sky. According to 2011 census, out of their total population of 109 persons, 93 had been recorded as followers of other religions, which referred to their traditional faith. The rest of the persons are following Hinduism. In the census 1961 and census 1971, the census figures showed their population following indefinite belief, denoting their indigenous religion. The painting of their face and body with clay signifies their relationship with nature. It symbolizes their symbiotic relationship with nature. The white clay is painted on the face and body practically every day as a protection from evil spirits and mosquitoes. Red ochre mixed with lard is smeared during the mourning period, as this color is associated with their belief in the continued living of the soul even after the physical death of a person. They are also known for decorating their ceremonial hunting bows and arrows with bark strings. The honey container is made from the qualalu tree. The outer part of the container is decorated with cane straw strips after blackening it by slowly burning the layer of wax pasted on it.
Culture contact and change.
The Ongas are said to have developed contacts to some extent with the Bengali, Nicobaris, Tamil, Telugu, Mopila, Ranchi tribes, and others. They are reported to frequently visit the Bengali refugee settlers, and they also engage in the exchange of their forest produces for the gifts from the outside world. The administration undertook some welfare and development measures for the Onge since 1976. There was authorization of only one local organization called Andaman Adim Janjati Vikas Samiti AAJJVS for carrying out the developmental and welfare activities. It has been observed that some of the development works are appreciated by the Onge. The Samiti has taken pains to make available to them drinking water, creches for the children, healthcare services, electricity, and a few more amenities in Dugong Creek. These efforts have been well taken by the Onge. However, it has also been observed that such facilities need to reach some areas in the South Bay settlement as well. The 730 square kilometer island of Little Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which was home of the Onge, was exclusively chosen for the settlement of the outside population from India. Forests had to be cleared to make the land cultivable for the settlements. There were large-scale plantations. Timber-based industries were also opened for the support of the settlers. Further, a red oil palm plantation was created over an area of 1,600 hectares. Logging of the trees started. About 12,000 families were expected to be brought into Little Andaman, but fortunately only 3,000 families could be brought as of today. Little Andamans, the habitat of the Ongas, has received hundreds of thousands of settlers from outside the island, primarily from the rest of the Andamans and Nicobars, in view of forestry, plantation, and settlement. The 12th General Assembly of the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, adopted a resolution regarding the protection of tribal societies, providing useful guidelines for safeguarding the tribes in the Andamans. It speaks about the psychological importance of hunter-gatherers, adequate environment, and the dangers of their sudden exposure to the outside world. In the year 1975, the then Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi, during her address to the people of Andaman and Nicobars, is reported to have said, "Neither settlement nor development should be made an excuse to uproot tribal groups or cut down forests. The tribals are the original inhabitants and any disturbance may threaten their survival." One of the reasons for her observations was obviously due to indiscriminate deforestation. Although the threats of tribal groups in the Andamans and Nicobar Islands have been brought to the attention of the administration, recent processes of development have neglected the advice of the late Prime Minister. The recent developments on Little Andaman include clearance of about 3,000 hectares of virgin forest for settlement and plantation, construction of roads from Hut Bay north and west, construction of jetties at Hut Bay and Dugong Creek, settlement of Nicobaris at South Bay, establishment of a match splint factory. A poisoning incident in December 2008 further reduced the number of the Onges. It was reported that 8 male tribal members died after consuming a toxic liquid identified as methanol, apparently mistaken for alcohol. The toxic liquid reportedly came from a container that had been washed ashore at Dugong Creek near their settlement. A few more Onges were admitted to the hospital, with one of them critically ill. This kind of callousness has been responsible for the decline in the Onge population down the decades. Apart from incursions in the Onge territory by the settlers, diseases and deforestations have threatened their survival. In their indigenous knowledge, the Onges have a cure for the deadly blackwater malaria. However, the Western pharmaceutical companies are engaged in exploiting the flora of the Onge territory for profiteering. After the resettlement in Dugong and South Bay, the Onges were given rice, dal, oil, biscuits, which were totally alien to them, who traditionally lived on tubers, honey, and wild boars. Traditionally, the Onge lived in huts, but the administration, in order to make life more convenient for them, made wooden houses on stilts with asbestos roofing. This apparently made the Onges lazy and dull. They became dependent on the administration. Meanwhile, outsiders lured them with alcohol and tobacco for their precious commodities from flora and fauna. Some of the measures for the socio-economic development of the Onges were coconut plantations, cattle rearing, and pig breeding. However, the community rejected these measures. The school in Dugong Creek did not have much success either. Interestingly, Onge of all ages, father and son, mother and daughter, are in a classroom to learn the Hindi alphabets. Though they have not shown interest in education, they have been able to learn Hindi film songs. They have also fallen prey to diseases. They also work as menial laborers for the settlers. They have the traditional practice that any widow or widower is able to remarry a young Onge. The person approached for remarriage cannot refuse.
Living conditions.
Every household has its own fireplace. Their dwellings are built with tree trunks and branches of the canes which are grown throughout the islands. Platforms of the house are built with bamboos. The floor is made of wooden planks. They use bamboo ladder to climb their house. The spaces below the platforms are used as graveyards, place for delivery and space for dogs and pigs.
Position of Ange women.
There is division of labor among the male and female members of the Onge household. Men go hunting and collecting honey, while women collect roots, tubers, shells and also go fishing. The Onge women wear a fibrous tassel made out of fine germinal apex of a particular plant which hangs against the string going round the waist and over the hips. The body of men and women is painted with white clay to protect themselves from insect bite. The red paint serves medicinal purposes. The red ochre paint is a taboo during the time of mourning. The Ongas have a practice of early marriage. The widows are looked down upon. The Onge children live with parents. However, the adolescent boys prefer staying separately. The Onge women command a good deal of influence and respect in the community.
Let us conclude.
The term Onge literally means man. The Ongas belong to the Negrito racial stock, who are now concentrated in the Dugong Creek and the South Bay. This tribe used to be a fully hunting and gathering primitive group. Their population has substantially reduced from 672 in the year 1901 to 101 in census 2011. Some of the major causes of their decline in number are said to be incursions of the outside settlers, developmental activities, and changing food habits brought about through their contact with the outside world. The Onge had developed skills of seamanship to travel across the open sea. They engaged in fishing and hunting regularly on and around the uninhabited islands between Little Andaman and Ratland Island. They believe in the continued existence of the soul even after the death of the physical body. The rites of passage of the Onge tribe, namely the initiation, marriage and death rituals, are similar to those of the other tribes. The Ongas have come in contact with the settlers from outside the region who have come primarily in view of forestry, plantation and settlement. The present development measures by the government and the process of modernization have adversely affected the identity and culture of the Onge. Thank you.